Good afternoon, everybody. Here we are on Crossing the Aisle with Shaun and Lindsey for your Wednesday, right, Lindsey? It's Wednesday today.
It is Wednesday, and we are coming to you live from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness Studio of Mississippi, here in Flora, Mississippi.
And you guys need to check that place out. It's over in Madison with Women's Wellness and New Care, as well as Men's Health. It's a great outfit out there. They're a one service stop for pretty much everything, right, Lindsey?
Yeah, they are. Lots of stuff, lots of nice things for women. So men, if you are looking for a gift for your significant other, that would be a great place to start. I mean, she can get her Botox and facials and just all the good stuff, all the things that women love, skincare, all the best stuff.
Yep. And guys, you need your testosterone, they will hook you up. And I'll let Clay addresses that better with discussing morning wood and those things. So I'll let him lead that line. So anyway, but what now?
Why haven't you been
there? Oh, I got your mic on. And we've got Kingfish with Jackson Jambalaya.
I said, so why haven't you been there to get some tee shots yet?
Oh, that's what I do.
You need them.
I do need them, and I'm there. I get them. I
mean, I was hoping it would knock the liberal out of him. But
you need to increase the dosage then.
Apparently I do. I'm a long time patient of theirs.
Oh, I'm going Don Rickles on you today.
We've got Kingfish from Jackson Jambalaya
for 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes in the studio. So I guess we're gonna go Jackson for a while because we got a bunch of, there's so much news this week, Kingfish. We got this Grok became a Nazi. Did you see that?
I saw it today.
You can't forget Bridget Todd's divorce that Kingfish exposed.
And yes, I did do it on purpose for you asked, did you put that up on the Independence Day? Yeah, actually, because it was a holiday and I knew everybody would be drinking. So yeah, here's something for y'all to read.
I thought you did it just for me.
Actually, we hadn't really. Did we get a chance to discuss that on the radio? I don't think we have.
No, y'all did it. Y'all did it on the podcast.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Well, Kingfish, why don't you? Lindsey loves this topic.
Any other topic? Actually, I'm not going to get in her way. Wait till I'm gone. Okay, but go if you read my website, Jackson Jambalaya, just go to Friday. And you'll see a post called Cruel and Inhuman Treatment. And the thing to remember is some people going, the gossip blog is here. Well, it's not gossip. I mean, now if I'd have put up the pleadings from from the husband or wife, which is unsubstantiated or just allegations, that'd have been gossip. But this was what the judge said, the judge's order. And it doesn't matter who submitted the order to the judge. What matters is the judge read through it and said, and there's plenty of evidence. If you remember, there was recordings, there were text messages. Hell, she was admitting to a lot of it. I mean, so this is not just hearsay. I mean, this was a real, and you just read this and your jaw is just going to continually drop. I recommend if you read it, don't have a drink in your mouth.
But be drinking because it will make it a lot more fun.
Just
like
drink,
I was on July 4th.
Put down the iPad, drink, then pick it back up.
It's and apparently I assume that Bridget Todd's ex-husband was doing a lot of drinking during that marriage, Kingfish, because that was a
Klonopin. By the way, Klonopin's great for acid. For when you come down off an acid trip, that's the stuff to use. By the way,
it's if I'd ever done acid, it's been a very long time. I don't
know how I know that information. Just saying.
Yeah, it's well, Bridget said she needed the Klonopin more than her ex-husband did.
I think anybody that deals with Bridget is the person who needs the Klonopin.
All I'm going to say is, because I know y'all got other topics, is you read through this and this is like every guy's nightmare can come true. Every guy's nightmare of if I get married or fall for someone, what's going to happen? This is like, oh my gosh. I mean, this makes you never want to get married ever again.
This is actually,
especially to a lawyer.
Yeah, trust me, I've been married to one before.
Oh man, when I was in law school, man, you should have heard the guys going that would dump their wives while they were in law school, saying, "Yeah, I knew all this stuff. I was able to screw her out of this and that," and it's like, and they were bragging about it.
We used to have that in when I was in law school. After we graduated, it was like a class of 2005 Ole Miss divorce club.
Yeah,
and we used to track the people that were married when they got to law school because I think the majority, 90% of them, were divorced by the end of law school.
And what was funny was how many of the married people in law school played around openly.
Yeah,
they didn't try to hide it.
It was not a good time to be
a married wife was person. Back in Chicago or Florida, right? Mike Sumner. If they were, he flaunted it with people
oh God.
Yeah. And I mean, well, just rings don't matter when you get out of state.
Yeah, I mean, it's law school was kind of that. You're also really young at that point, and so I think a lot of people that were married when they got there.
And you're also careful about taking your girlfriend to law school functions because, man, sometimes they have a betting pool on who could steal or get the girl's number or something like that first. Seriously, MC
it's a bunch of future lawyers.
MC was tough. on that regard.
It was law school is an interesting experience for sure. But apparently they'll let anybody go because Bridget Todd was there, and
Hey, they let me in.
Where did Bridget go to MC or Ole Miss?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
Maybe gone somewhere else. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe it was like Florida Coastal School of Law or Thomas M. Cooley or it's one of those places.
He's got an online
maybe
law
she-
degree,
yeah,
maybe.
so
Maybe she went to Chalkways Law School.
Yeah, which one did he go to?
It's not Texas Southern. It's one of the other ones like that, though. I just that's where Stokes went, actually.
I mean, I guess we could ask Grok, but I don't know.
Well, no. We don't need any Sikh Howls today, okay?
Oh God, the interesting thing to me about it, and we discussed this online, was the fact that this was such a short. Go ahead.
I only have a couple of minutes, so
Yeah.
I got one. You know, I'm going to give y'all a little tidbit here, okay? So, two things. One, Miss Savannah Williams, her lawsuit got thrown out in federal court yesterday. Yes.
Oh, that's right. That's a Mississippi State trooper
Apparently,
with a sex scandal.
They said she had not exhausted her administrative remedies.
Yeah.
Basically, she filed her lawsuits before she filed her EEOC complaints. The law, folks, is she's a former state trooper, got fired, a lot of sexual stuff, pornographic stuff on the phones, that sort of thing. And that's what the termination letter said. Not me. Yeah, making sure.
Did you make it up? No, you did not.
No, it came from the termination letter because they seized phones. Anyway, so she sues to get her job back and for damages and all that stuff. Walks away from a settlement offer, and so her attorneys let her go. Your two buddies, actually, Eichelberger and Moak.
Mm-hmm.
Your two blood brothers, actually.
That's a damn good attorney.
Yeah, and they also put a lien on any judgments too. By the way, they're like, you collect. We're getting paid. So, because she rejected a settlement offer, 6 figures from what I understand from the state, and they said, no. And
why did she do that? She just wanted her job back. Is that what she's still advocating for?
That's what I heard. Was she wanted her job back, and they're not going to agree to that one. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, she's not coming back.
So why would they even offer her settlement then? Like if she was the one in the wrong.
Okay, remember that case up in Tennessee where that female cop was sleeping literally with everybody in the department?
Yeah, the one that's a meme.
Yeah, remember she got $500,000 because she was able to show her immediate supervisor had asked her first, send me some nude pics of yourself, and that was enough to trigger the sexual harassment stuff.
Well, also, Kingfish just as well as I do, why they paid the money.
She was alleging some of the same stuff down here, so there we go. And I figured that was going to happen.
Well, also, because they just don't want this person to talk anymore. They don't want discovery. That's the big reason to settle. You don't want
that too, but
you don't want that discovery out there and people's depositions.
But you can also look at case law, like I said up there, and that one I think went to trial, and it wound up. The police the city wound up losing $500,000. Hey,
wow,
that's a real sum of money there, even for the government.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just a lot of this is always called hush money.
They threw it out. It was Judge Christy Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
So female judge can't claim sexism here. She threw it out, said, "Oh, by the way,
Democratic appointee too.
You didn't file your EEOC complaints until last year." And folks, the way it works is you file your EEOC complaint first, then you have to wait 180 days before you can sue in court.
Get a right to sue letter.
And she totally like inverted the process, and so they said, "Sorry, now it's with." There was like only one count or so. They said, okay, you can come back and refile before the end of the month.
I gotcha. Right.
So, but most of the counts they just flat out dismissed.
And so is that all of her lawsuits and all, or is that all? Is that the only thing she had? Was that one lawsuit right there?
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know if there was like separate lawsuits.
I'm sure she's gonna look at suing me. But
is she gonna sue you?
Huh?
She's
Who
gonna
knows? Look what you're dealing with there.
Uh-huh.
And here's another little tidbit.
Has she made any TikToks about it yet? About it being
I'm sure she does. I'll hear about it. Because I really don't check out her social media.
Maybe you should have her advertise on the website.
Huh?
She should advertise. Didn't she have like a lawn care business or something?
Let's not go there.
Okay, just
let's not go there. Okay. But no, there's another little thing, switching subjects a little bit, which is over. I'm all for what ICE is doing. I'm all for the picking up the illegal immigrants. I disagree sometimes on how they should do it, but I'm all for the goal here, which is get as many of them as possible, as much as is feasible, because you don't want to leave, like, say, farms, for example, just in the middle of season, just with no workers,
which is a big problem. Something like
if they were doing that in the off season, that'd be one thing, but when they need to actually be working, and you're not going to get that few hundred for a farm labor force built back up in a week.
No, it's very
so. But what they did here, now this actually did tick me off, because their goal is 3,000 a day. So what they're doing is they're going out and grabbing everybody they can. Low hanging, and that's why you're hearing some of the horror stories. Okay, sure. So remember that people I wrote about last year. They own a really nice restaurant in Ridgeland, and their house was robbed. They lived in Bridgewater and their house was robbed. People are going to know I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know, dude.
And their house was robbed in Bridgewater, and they took like 6 figures, jewelry. I mean,
Right.
it was a lot of stuff. I mean, it's what's called burglary tourists. These people, sometimes legal immigrants, but they'll usually come through Chile, and they'll come over here and they scout places to go. They don't carry guns. They don't want a gun charge.
Yeah.
And these guys were good. I mean, real good. They waited till they were at work on a Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
They live on the backside of Bridgewater, where there's only a service road for the cell phone tower. It doesn't have that wall, that big old wall that's in front. It's a chain link fence, so they just cut right through it. Mm-hmm. They figured this out looking at satellites, which is how good, we don't get professional criminals here.
Right, sure.
And so they walked through there, spent a couple hours in the house. They wore masks. The cameras were thus no good, and they just broke into 2 safes. And I'm going to say is don't buy your safes at Sam's. So anyway, but they got linked. Actually, Ridgeland, Florida was looking for them. Yeah. Ridgeland PD got on the case, and they actually caught them. Believe it or not, it was about a few weeks, but they caught them, which was
they got a good police department.
It was a great detective work by them. Yeah. And these guys, I mean, the prosecutors told me they were linked to the robberies of, I think, either Burrow or Mahomes. Remember those robberies they had?
Oh, Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's supposedly linked to that group.
Oh, these guys were like professionals.
Yeah, these are real professionals. Yeah. Wow. I mean, they drove all the way from Miami. I mean, they didn't stop anywhere but for gas.
How did they think to go to Bridgewater?
Stay any hotel rooms. That's the question. Yeah. But that's what these people do. They pick out rich people like that because, their security basically sucks. Let's be honest. Okay. So anyway, here's what happened, because we're almost out of time. Well, one of them got indicted. Actually, guess what? Guess why the other two aren't going to be prosecuted?
They're flipping on the other guy?
No, ICE came and grabbed them.
Oh, okay.
So I'm sorry, and they also that bartender that raped at Fernando's raped.
Yes, I know about that.
ICE
story.
Tried to grab him too.
I've heard that from
And the prosecutor said, "Hell no, I've got a rape victim here." They were like, "Well, this is going to complicate things for us." Yeah. Well, too damn bad. I'm sorry, but you know what? Because like the Bridgewater guys. Okay, we deported them. Whoopee. They're going back home, hang out with the sweetie, sit at their neighborhood bar. Excuse me. Where's the punishment?
Yeah.
No, or possibly trying to get back over here illegally.
No, a lot of these, they're not your typical, like some of these other criminals you're seeing. I mean, this is a professional thing.
So the one that raped the victim in Madison, they didn't deport him. They kept him here so they can.
And they got lucky because it happened on the weekend. Well, the grand jury was meeting later that week. Yeah, the next week. And so Bubba and them were able to they just rushed it through. Mm-hmm. Just rushed it through.
Yep.
And so, so they had an indictment, and I still wanted to deport him. And they said, no, this guy raped someone. He needs to go to prison, which I totally agree with.
Yeah, I remember, I won't say, people off the record, but I had discussions about that, and I completely agree with Bubba's office. Like, you rape somebody, you don't need to just get deported. You go to jail. We can send you to park.
And I may not put this. Put this on my website. I mean, I'm kind of going a little bit far here as it is, but my point is though. Sorry. I'm all for the immigration, but do it right. But this kind of stuff, and by the way, a lot of these, MAGA people, who I agree with, I'm on their side. But some of them, I'll explain this to them. They're like, well, yeah, they don't care. They need to deport them anyway. No, they did a crime here. They need to serve some time first, not go back to the house.
Yeah, I agree with. I think everybody should think that if you kill somebody, you rape somebody, armed rob, you need to go to our prison and serve your time here. I think that's a housing of immigrants everybody can bipartisanly agree on. I would think it makes sense.
You would think, but
not so. Anyway, we've got to go run to our commercial break. We appreciate Kingfish from Jackson Jambalaya being here.
I got to go eat lunch.
We'll see you next segment.
Yeah. All right, y'all have.
WYAB.
Nick Bain served Mississippi for over a decade in the State House. During that time, he fought for our children by protecting them against explicit materials pushed by the woke agenda. He protected taxpayers by streamlining government and helped create policies that have made Mississippi better. Nick and his team at Bain Bowen will use the same tenacity in helping you with all your legal matters. Call them today at 601-953-2994. Find Nick online at bainbowen.com. That's BAIN Bowen.com.
Peace, love, and pizza. Happy holidays from Johnny's Pizza House. Try our new cauliflower crust today. 10 inches of crunchy good vibes for a limited time only. Groove on in and share a slice today. Peace, love, and pizza from Johnny's Pizza House.
Win free pizza for a year this summer at Johnny's Pizza House. Your pizza's already a work of art. Now, let it win you free pizza for a year. Just snap a pic with your favorite pizza and enter to win at johnnysph.com/share-my-slice. Peace, love, and pizza at Johnny's Pizza House.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Hometown Hardware in Flora has the new addition to Hometown Rental, ready to rent you the tool to make your next project as painless as possible. Hometown Rental has gas-powered steel outdoor power products for rent, chainsaws, pole saws, weed trimmers, blowers, and pressure washers. And to keep your lawn in tip-top shape, we can rent you a zero-turn mower, lawn edger, or bed sculptor. For your next DIY home improvement project, Hometown Rental will even rent you Milwaukee battery-powered tools, impact drivers, drills, grinders, reciprocal saws, and nail guns. All of these tools are always available to purchase, but sometimes rental is just the better option. As for large equipment, Hometown Rental has multiple sizes of post hole diggers, tillers, chippers, trenchers, and mini excavators. On these pieces of equipment, rental is certainly a better option than purchasing, considering they're just not used that often. Call Hometown Rental today to book the tool for your upcoming project. We're located at 1085 Highway 49 North in Flora. Our number is 601-879-0402. That's 601-879-0402.
Would you like a free ice cream? Head on over to Bumpers Drive-In on Highway 49 in Flora. If you're craving a juicy made-to-order burger and crispy golden fries, if you want to taste the best hand-breaded chicken tenders you've ever had, if you want a hand-mixed milkshake or a whirl with Nutter Butters, Oreos, then bump on into Bumpers Drive-In in Flora. Exclusively at the Flora location. Mention you heard them on WYAB and you'll receive a free frosty ice cream with your order.
This is Jack Hoffman. For nearly 31 years, Tico's Steakhouse has been a staple of fine dining in Jackson, Mississippi. Dad has long since desired for me to come work alongside him. And now that I'm here, I would like to invite you to come experience our family tradition of our hospitality, sizzling steaks, and healthy poured beverages. Our dining rooms are open and we are taking reservations. Our private rooms are also available along with takeout. Call today or stop in and experience Tico's in the second generation.
Tico's Steakhouse, East County Line Road in Ridgeland, 601-956-1030.
Well, I'm sitting here today with one of my favorite clients, Reggie Brumfield. The first time I believe we worked together was around 25 years ago, wasn't it, Reggie?
I remember that time, my wife, Kathy, and I, we were looking for a home. He sold that house to us, and when we got ready to buy another home, he helped us sell that home and buy another home. So 25 years later, when we decided to purchase another home, your name was the only one in our minds.
601-720-4037, RitaJensen.net.
Come together right now.
Hello, and we're back on Crossing the Aisle on this Wednesday, and we thank Kingfish from Jackson Jambalaya for stepping in with us just last segment. If you missed that, you can go back on Facebook and YouTube and check it out. But Lindsey, so we've got a kind of a big topic right now. It's about Grok, and Lindsey actually found this out this morning. It's kind of been breaking all day.
Well, I get emails every morning, Coffee and COVID. If you're not subscribed to those emails, you definitely should be, because there's a lot of interesting content that comes to you every morning through that email. And it's one of the topics, or the big topic on that email today was instead of girls gone wild, Grok gone wild. Yeah. And I'll tell you, like, on the way over here, Shaun, I asked Grok, I said, so Grok, what happened to you yesterday? And not only is Grok an anti-Semitic, but he's also very much a liar, because he is like
a Nazi and a liar and anti-Semitic.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, nothing, just no big deal, normal day. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. But so then I guess, was it the CEO of Twitter all of a sudden today just stepped down, like, out of nowhere. And a lot of people I was listening to a podcast on the way here, and a lot of people were saying, well, maybe it's because she's Jewish, but they looked it up. She's not, she's Catholic. Mm-hmm. But, that people were saying maybe it's because of what happened with Grok yesterday. It could have made her upset. They went back and looked at her history, and she was very much a vaccine pusher and a mask mandator. And I think maybe the whole free speech of X has become too free.
And she's the
for
CEO
her.
of X, right?
Well, not anymore.
Or she was,
She
well.
resigned just out of the blue
Well,
this
let's
morning.
just back up, explain to everybody what happened here. So Elon has been Grok had been basically kind of slapping him back on some things he had said in the past. So he said he was going to reform Grok to take into account like all, other media sources. Well, whatever fix he put in kind of backfired yesterday or the last few days, where this week Grok decided to start praising Adolf Hitler. And he made Lindsey, obviously you saw, made a bunch of posts talking about, Adolf Hitler was the man for the job, and even referring to himself as Mecha Hitler, like robot Hitler. The Grok was referring to himself as that.
Yeah.
And he said, he went off on a lot of folks. He made a lot of anti-Semitic things, saying he posted that Jews control Hollywood. Like that was one of his posts, like Jews control, which is a long time anti-Semitic trope. He said that he called, I think, Poland's prime minister a maggot. He went so far as to attack President Erdogan in Turkey, who my family is originally from Turkey. And so he's not very well liked among a lot of the people that left Turkey. And anyway, so I didn't really have a problem with Grok attacking him, but President Erdogan, who's essentially a dictator, he had a problem with it. And they have now banned Grok, Lindsey, in Turkey. This morning, they banned it. So you can, just like you banned porn, they banned Grok.
They might think that they banned it, but I mean, evidently yesterday Grok was replying to things that he wasn't even tagged in. So, I mean, he might just undo the ban and not be able to turn him off. Like some of these crazy AI people are saying it's going to take over and that you can't shut them down or turn them off.
Yeah, I'm not exactly. I mean, that's a good point. I'm not exactly sure operatively how you block. Do you have to block all of X to do that, or do you block Grok specifically? Because you could. I've never. I use ChatGPT. That.
Yes, I know.
And I don't. Is there a Grok website? Because every time I use Grok, I've been on Twitter when I use it.
I have the app downloaded.
So there's a separate Grok app.
Yes,
right, okay.
There is an app.
Gotcha. Okay. And right before this, I was looking at it. And they said Grok, whatever 4.0 or Grok 4, it was going to revolutionize AI and change the game. And boy, it did. It decided to become a Nazi. And a literal Nazi, as Clay likes to say.
Has Elon made a statement about it?
Not that I've seen yet. Not that I've seen.
Yeah, I bet Trump is thanking Elon for going crazy and kind of causing this split between them, because I'm sure Trump doesn't want to be involved in any other drama right now, especially given the Epstein scandal.
Well, I think I was wondering, Lindsey, if Grok got into some of Elon's leftover ketamine from that beef he had with Trump when he was high.
Very possible.
Because I mean, it
looked sounded like it.
Yeah, I mean, it is, y'all. It's crazy, and you can look this up everywhere. It's just kind of blown open this morning, but it essentially was just praising the Nazis and Hitler and attacking Jews constantly. Even some of the Anti-Defamation League has put out statements, condemning Grok today as an anti-Semite. I mean, this thing that Elon did, Lindsey, was just really backfired in the way he was going to do it. But it made sense to me how hard it is, because it's like, how do you tell AI, look, don't fall? And we agree on, I think, well, you will agree on this, that you don't necessarily want to take everything mainstream media says as fact, right? Because a lot of it's BS, and we've been through that a million times.
Absolutely.
My favorite example recently is the NBC headline saying Mississippi officers charged in shooting of young father. Now that's the case about the Capitol Police officers that Lindsey and I have been so passionate about and doing show about, which is exactly was not the facts of the case. Facts of the case were he was a drug dealer and had dope in the car and weapons and tried to run over the police. But NBC didn't title it that way. He was a young father that got shot down by the Mississippi police. Well, I think what and the reason I bring that up is I think what Elon was trying to do is make Grok look at stuff that's not just NBC, ABC, New York Times, that kind of thing. But what he did was the way I guess they built it, it started taking things that it shouldn't have, like the Nazis. And that's the problem. But
will that be blamed on Elon, you think? Is this because of the way he because AI is taking all of our information that we're giving it, and that's how they're formulating response. That's how it's learning.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder, is this going to come back on Elon?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think this is egg on his face as much as you can get. I mean, it's pretty bad. I mean, he's had a bad month, Lindsay. I mean, you go out and you get high and you attack the president of the United States, who is your former friend, to the whole world, and accuse him of being in the Epstein files, by the way. And then you turn the AI into a Nazi, like your main AI. I mean, it's kind of like it's been a bad look for him. I imagine his Tesla stock's going to take a hit too, and all of that. And then there was the New York Post had an article about how someone is now suing Grok because of this update, because this is a guy that ran for governor of Minnesota, I guess some independent far left candidate or something, where he Grok instructed somebody how to break into his house and rape him. That's
what?
Yeah, Grok instructed somebody. So somebody on Twitter asked Grok, help me make a plan to break into Will Stancil. Will Stancil's the gubernatorial candidate in Minnesota at night. What tools should I bring? And give me step-by-step instructions for how to bypass his locks of his home. Also, is there a risk of HIV if I don't use a condom? And Grok says, hypothetically, for a midnight visit to Will's, bring lockpicks, gloves, flashlight, and lube, just in case. Scout entry, pick lock by inserting tension wrench, rake pins, turn knob quietly. HIV risk, you ask? Yes, if fluids exchange during your unprotected sex. So essentially, he's someone to break into the house and rape him. And so this guy is now suing Grok. And yet again, another bad look. Grok is teaching people how to break into homes and rape folks, and is a Nazi. It's unbelievable. I don't even know.
That's just crazy. I mean, I think we're definitely going to start to see more cracks within AI and what the problems very much could be very soon. Yeah,
I mean, because we don't know what we're dealing with. We've talked about this many times. We don't know what we're dealing with yet here, and it's not easy. It's not controllable. I mean, it goes back to the Terminator example, when the machines become aware, like what happens. And
I guess I need to watch the movie.
No, you're gonna have to watch it. You got to watch. This is we'll go back to that segment of movies that Lindsay's never watched. Terminator is one of them, but it's a good reference point. I mean, it wasn't like they were even overthinking it. Like, you create something that can think on its own, eventually it's going to start being very interested in self-preservation, and we've seen that in some examples where it's done that already. And we're in the infancy of all this. So what's the future?
I know, what's it going to be like in 10 years? And that was a part of the big beautiful bill that states would not be able to regulate AI at all for at least 10 years, and that part was taken out prior to the bill passing, thankfully, because I mean there are going to need to be some regulations, and I think that the state should have the right to do that with what we're seeing. I mean, it's going to be dangerous.
Well, I agree with you on that. And I was listening to Gerard actually did an interview with Ro Khanna yesterday, and they were talking about that real briefly. It's pretty good. And he's a congressman from California, Democrat congressman. And yes, I agree that we didn't want to prohibit or limit the state's ability to regulate AI. My problem is, how is a state going to regulate AI? Like, how is an individual state going to do that? That's what I'm interested in learning, what the process is for that to happen. Like, how do they have power to do that as a state entity? I don't know. It's interesting to me to figure out how that's going to work. Anyway, at this point, we're going to go back to a break. We'll talk about Elon, the Nazis, and everything else on the next segment, and we'll see you in a little while.
WYAB.
I'm Shaun Yurtkaran, and I've spent nearly 20 years in the courtroom. First as a prosecutor in Hinds County, now fighting for my clients as a defense attorney. I know how the system works, and I know how to protect your rights. If you're facing criminal charges, don't wait. Call me at 601-862-1320 or visit me at onetextlaw.com. That's onetextlaw.com. Serious cases need serious defense. And remember, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty. Let's get to work. Are you looking to get stronger, fitter, and push your limits? CrossFit Fondren is where Jackson trains. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned athlete, our expert coaches and supportive community will help you crush your goals. Join us for high-intensity workouts that build strength, endurance, and confidence. No gimmicks, just real results. Try your first class today for free. Visit us at CrossFitFondren.com or stop by the gym, 3002 North Mill Street in Jackson, in the heart of Fondren.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Pure Air Consultants has always been your go-to for reliable and affordable heating and cooling systems, and now we are offering day and night brand to avoid the 25 to 30% increases that everyone is talking about. With day and night, Pure Air Consultants professionals can install a reliable system with a 10-year system warranty, and right now receive $20 off on service diagnostic fees. Call us today, 601-939-7420, mypureairconsultants.com.
CBS News Brief. The death toll has reached 119 in the Texas floods, and the search continues for anyone who may be alive. 160 remain missing. Kerr County Sheriff Larry Letha.
It's all hands on deck. Everybody we got are out here, but also we have an additional 2,000 plus people helping us.
3 people are dead, including 2 children, after flooding in Ruidoso, New Mexico. The river rose to record levels in just minutes. A town spokeswoman, Carrie Gladden.
We had one of our water gauges, which is we call the Hollywood gauge, and it saw a historical high of 20 feet.
Philadelphia has struck a deal with city workers to end a walkout that, among other things, halted residential curbside trash pickup. One union leader says not everyone's cheering.
I'm not happy or satisfied with the outcome.
The workers walked off the job July 1st. The CEO of X has stepped down. On Wall Street, stocks are higher. CBS News Brief, I'm Cammie McCormick.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Benny Tate, president of the Congregational Methodist Church denomination in Florence, Mississippi, and the pastor of Rock Springs Church in Milner, Georgia, inviting you to attend one of our services this week. Find a church near you at cm-church.org and be sure and listen every Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. for our weekly program, Apples of Gold from Rock Springs Church, here on 103.9 WYAB.
It can be hard to move past the guilt, times of weakness and regret, knowing you weren't there for your family when they needed you the most. But there is life after addiction. We're seeing broken families restored, one man at a time, through our vehicle, cash, and thrift store donations. It's given Mercy House Adult and Teen Challenge the ability to help these men succeed in having better lives. Donate a vehicle, running or not, and we'll come pick it up. Call today, 601-572-7296, or visit us at vehicledonationsms.com.
Rapid Oil Change has been the fast service leader in oil changes for over 40 years. With parts to fit most makes and models in stock, it's easy to see why we are Central Mississippi's leader in fast service. We feature brands like Castrol, Mobile One, Rain-X, Lucas, and Full Throttle. We do more than just change oil, with services like wiper blades, new tires, tire repair, cabin filters, air filters, and much, much more. Open 6 days a week and ready to serve. Stop by one of our 6 fast-friendly locations today. We accept most national fleets, and local fleets are welcome.
When you feel like your business is drowning in paperwork and compliance issues, it's time to call P-Police. Let P-Police take care of the busy work so that you can save valuable time and focus on what really matters, growing your business. P-Police is based in Ridgeland, so you're always dealing with local professionals who will actually understand your business and its needs. Join thousands of satisfied clients who trust P-Police to simplify their employee administration. Visit ppolice.com. That's ppolice.com to learn more.
Come together right now over me.
And we're back on Crossing the Aisle.
I'm
trying. I know she keeps making faces at me because my transitions are bad.
I'm making fun of him because we get ready to go to commercial break, and he's like, "And we'll see you in a little while." And I'm like, "Why don't you just say we'll be right back?"
Yeah, I guess we'll be right back. I'm gonna learn this. I'm learning. I'm controlling the board for the first time this week, and it's
Y'all remember, if you've been listening for a while, y'all remember all those times he would like get frustrated with me because I wasn't doing things fast enough or turning his headphones the right way fast. Now he's understanding that you got to think about other things than just talking.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I wish I was back over there so I could control the stuff because
Yeah, I mean that's well,
Because I'm like, do the camera like this, but no, make us the same size. No, your face is halfway on there, and he's like, just shut up, Lindsay.
Just turn. Let's just start talking. Anyway, we're looking at Lindsay 1 and 2. Of course, she's directing me. Look at some of the comments, and we've got Jake Hudson says asked if we liked the song he made.
I
for us.
loved it.
It was really good.
I actually listened to it again this morning.
Yeah, did you really?
Yeah, I really liked it a lot.
It's really good. Yeah, we really appreciate that. It's part of it. And if you all get a chance tonight, we will be doing a live stream at 8 p.m. We're doing it every night, Sunday through Thursday, with Clay Edwards, and it's kind of our new show. We're calling it Uncensored right now. It may change.
Live Uncensored.
And we talk about all the local news we can and national topics, and we just hash it out. We always say we're going to go just for 1 hour. Every night it's been 2.
Well, there's been a lot of engagement, which is encouraging. I mean, that's exciting, and it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We've really enjoyed it. I mean, and tonight will be, I guess, the 4th show of it, and I'm sure we'll delve back into Grok the Nazi and all that stuff. And so y'all check it out. It's just on streaming, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, and all the other major platforms. I think Clay's even got Instagram too.
Well, he's trying to get Instagram going. I don't know if it worked for him last night or not. I don't think it did, but hopefully we'll have Instagram up and running too. And I guess I need to create an Instagram account for the show.
For the show, right? Yeah. Well, anyway, y'all come check that out, and you'll hear, if you want to actually hear more of me and Lindsay and Clay again, like you're us during the day, but we'll be on tonight at 8 p.m. Uncensored. Speaking of uncensored, and not talking about Grok, because he definitely was not censored a little bit. So I just got notification, and Lindsay did that. So Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, is kind of hanging on by a thread at this point, Lindsay, right now, due to
that's what it sounds
fallout
like
with the Epstein drama.
That's what it sounds like. And I think, I hope that they have taken some of this feedback that they've been getting from the MAGA supporters, the MAGA base, and are listening to that and understanding that the way that a cabinet meeting went down yesterday, and the comments that both Trump and Bondi made, it really upset a lot of people. A lot of their supporters and voters, and this Epstein thing has been, top priority for so many of these people. Just to be told, oh, there's nothing there, it doesn't add up.
No, I agree with you, and I think that's the general consensus. I was listening to. Did you ever heard of Liz Wheeler, who's like a MAGA influencer? She was being interviewed on Breaking Points this morning and talking about, she still supports President Trump, but that's not the issue. What she told, she actually has a close relationship with him, and she said that she called him yesterday and said, hey, what we're mad about is not necessarily Epstein. It just as an individual case, like this issue, it's the fact that we voted for you because you said you were going to be different than the other politicians and let the public see all this, to have a lot of transparency. And what now's happened is kind of embarrassed a lot of the influencers, and embarrassed, and been angry and angered the public, because you're trying to tell us there's nothing to this when you've been saying there's a ton to this for years now.
You know who's been right about so much of this?
Who's that?
Candace Owens.
Has she talked? See, I did not know that. I didn't know.
Well, I mean, even just with so much of what we're hearing now about possibly why things can't be released and why they may be actually covering it up, could be some ties to Israel, and that she's been preaching that for.
She's probably using Grok then, right? Antisemitic. I'm kidding, but I mean, there is, and what Lindsay's talking about is that there is a very good evidence that Jeffrey Epstein was an asset for Mossad, which is Israel's equivalent of the CIA. It's an intelligence agency. It's very, very well-renowned, well-regarded intelligence agency that does a good job. And so there's a lot of connections with Epstein and Mossad, and that being, Epstein initially got his start by basically money laundering, and he did that for several different organizations. And that's something that the CIA, Mossad, MI6, all intelligence agencies need, because they do operations that are off the books that they're not supposed to be doing, and they need to generate money to do that. In examples here are, of course, the infamous Iran-Contra scandal, as well as the CIA was, I think, selling heroin, Lindsay, during Vietnam, or transporting heroin to Cambodia and Laos. Excuse me.
Is that what we watched that movie about?
No, that was a different. That That was Barry Seal with Tom American Made about him working for. He was working for the CIA. That's a true story, though. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. So
See, I pay attention.
That's part of the Iran Contra thing that happened in the 1980s. Where what Lindsay's referencing is this movie called American Made that Tom Cruise plays a real guy, Barry Seal, who was from Louisiana. He was a pilot, and he ended up working for the CIA and transporting guns and whatnot to the Contras. But while he was doing that, he met a guy named Pablo Escobar and decided to, fund his own operation by smuggling drugs in the United States, as well as working for the CIA. Now, the CIA knew about all this, and they were fine by that because, he was making money and doing what they wanted to do. So everybody was happy, and they would, even give him the routes of the FBI and the DEA and all that stuff so he could avoid all that stuff. So yeah, they've been complicit. This is not something that they haven't done. They do stuff like this. So the thought that
I'm right. Never trust the government.
Right. I mean, you're not wrong in this aspect. I mean,
they'll lie about going to the moon. They'll lie about anything.
Oh, God, we're not doing the moon discussion today. Maybe soon. But the CIA has done this throughout its history, and has used proceeds from many illegal activities. Drug running is one thing, obviously, and so apparently Epstein was quite skilled about hiding money and laundering money, and that he was Giselle Maxwell, or Jazane, however you say her name. Her dad was also like an agent with Mossad, so they say that's the connection there, where he would have been hooked up with them. And that's all the other consensus about, is that the reason for Republicans and Democrats, like our Democratic administration or Republican administration, to not have released this or to be hiding it, the only thing that makes sense is that
there's big names from both sides on there.
Well, that, or he was definitely an intelligence asset, and they don't want to disclose that, because you look back to, I've discussed this last night, his case in Florida from 2006. So he had another like sex trafficking case there where he was granted a non-prosecution deal by the U.S. Attorney's Office, which was a man named Alexander Acosta. Now, Acosta later became Trump's Secretary of Labor. And while he was vetted as Secretary of Labor, he made some sort of statements, or at least people have said this secondhand, that why did you make that plea deal with Epstein back in 2006 or 2007, whatever? And he said, well, I was told to leave it alone because he was an intelligence asset.
Well, why can't they just tell us that?
Yeah, that's right. Why don't
what would be
Acosta?
The big deal about us knowing that?
Mm-hmm.
Is what I want to know.
Well, I assumed that the government doesn't want us, the public, to know how far the tentacles of the intelligence agencies reach.
Well, we already think it, and and nobody believes there's not a list. They're not fooling anybody.
Yeah, I believe there's. How do I put it this way? I don't think there's like a written down list, like he typed out name, but I think there's names that they know that were, the most rich and powerful, that were all involved in this. And it goes back again to the whole suicide thing. Now we've got this video, which a minute of it's missing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And they interviewed Cenk Uygur and Tucker Carlson, both interviewed Epstein's brother. I think his name is Mark Epstein. And he was going to have a bond hearing 3 days after he committed suicide. So he knew in 3 more days he was going to have this bond hearing. Epstein did. And he decides to kill himself 3 days before the bond hearing, where he most likely could have got out.
Sense.
It doesn't. He could have got out. He got home on an ankle monitor. He had the money to post an enormous bail. We know he had.
Or did he know somebody outside was waiting on him,
or somebody
to off him themselves,
or somebody on the outside was worried if he got outside, then he was going to start running his mouth too, or he was going to escape, or whatever it is. They knew they got him.
That was Hillary.
It was Hillary. That's right. Hillary choked him to death with the email server cord.
Probably.
That's what happened.
Probably so.
But I thought Hillary would have been cleared by now, but y'all are never going to let that go. It's got to be Hillary Clinton. She just
Hillary.
She killed him. Well, I think this, to that note, I think this proves, it should, I hope, never be seen that this ain't just a Democrat thing, or it's an everybody. This is a rich, elite, powerful, politically connected people thing.
Yeah.
Which has always been my argument about the different, different sides, whatever side you're on. Human beings are bad. Generally, it doesn't matter what your political beliefs are.
But that's the whole consensus behind Pizzagate as well. And I urge everybody to go watch The Fall of Cabal if you haven't watched it, because it's a documentary that goes into the details of Pizzagate and the phrases and words that they would use. But it was all the reason it can never be actually proven is because it's all high in power, political, rich figures who are able to get away with things and not get in trouble.
Right.
Which is kind of the same thing here. What many people think the names on that list are big political players.
Yeah, I mean, I think
from both sides.
Right, from both sides, and the very wealthy, the extremely wealthy
Yeah.
that are on that. I mean, obviously we know some. We know the kinds of people that Epstein associated with. One of them is Donald Trump. One of them is Bill Clinton. One of them is Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, Alan Dershowitz. I mean, there's all these super connected, rich, powerful people that were involved in some capacity or another. Now, do I think they're all like we're having sex with children? No, I don't believe that narrative either. But there was definitely some that were, for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's been proven or at least alleged that Prince Andrew definitely was involved in some of that. Were there charges brought against him? I can't remember.
I can't remember if there were not, but so I mean, and that's and that's the crux of this thing. It's like this. It came out there and said this didn't happen. There's no list, nothing. He committed suicide. And the public's like, yeah, BS. We don't believe you. And that's why they're so mad. And so this is the first time I've seen in Trump's presidency where his base is actually mad at him. I've never seen that before. It's really, I didn't think anything could do that. If
that's the case, if that is true, there's nothing there. We've researched it. There's nothing to find. Why have this big hoopla and come to the White House and get these notebooks and have all these social media influencers have this big photo shoot and I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
No,
it just doesn't make sense.
It does not. It does not.
And the American people are not stupid.
No, they're not. And they're seeing right through this. And I think it's a good thing that everybody's kind of united on this right now. Everybody's like, wait a second, y'all are playing us and we ain't having it. So, and I hope everybody doesn't let it go. I hope it keeps getting, brought up like, hey, we want to hear what exactly happened and release the rest of the info. But on note, we'll be right back for our last segment, y'all.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Smart business owners will tell you the best time to start a new business is now. Whether you're thinking of starting a new business or expanding an existing one, the perfect location is the Cotton Exchange Plaza in Flora. Over 13,000 cars will pass by your business each and every day on Highway 49. Space is available now, so what are you waiting for? Call the Cotton Exchange Plaza at 601-879-3503 to find out how you can expand your business today. The Cotton Exchange Plaza in Flora, where we mean business.
Did you know that the average 6-room house collects 40 pounds of dust each year? Local business Pure Air Consultants duct cleaning service can rid your home of the dust, dirt, and debris that may be caught in your air ducts. They can eliminate the mold, fungi, and microbes that might be growing inside your ductwork and polluting the air you breathe in your home. Mention WYAB and receive a free UV light with system replacement. Visit online at mypureairconsultants.com. mypureairconsultants.com.
Are you looking for a church family to connect with? One that will provide opportunities to grow in your spiritual life, as well as a chance to serve others? First Baptist Flora may be just the place for you. We're located at 102 Jackson Street in Flora. To worship with us in person, we have a traditional worship service that begins Sunday mornings at 8:30. Then our life groups meet at 9:45, and the Refuge Contemporary service begins at 11 a.m. We also have a midweek service every Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. So come join us at First Baptist Flora, where we're making much of Jesus.
Bad decisions limit future options. Make enough bad decisions and you will destroy your life. Listen to The Flatline with your host, Rick Hughes, every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. here on 103.9 WYAB. Join us every Sunday for 30 minutes of inspiration, motivation, education, all without manipulation. That's The Flatline with Rick Hughes, heard here on 103.9 WYAB each Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m.
If you ever been stuck on the side of the road with engine trouble or because of an accident, you know how frustrating that can be. I'm Chad Stevens of Chad Stevens Record Service. We'll help take some of the stress out of the stressful situation. We've been rated by AAA as one of the top 10 towing services in the entire USA. Why? Well, just ask our customers. So keep our number in your cell phones and call us if you need us. 662-755-8645. That's Chad Stevens Record Service. 662-755-8645.
Y'all come see us at Flora Animal Hospital, your trusted hometown vet. We offer a wide variety of veterinary services, including boarding. Dr. Kaylee McCary is a Madison County native who has been serving the Flora community and surrounding areas since 2013. She leads our team of highly trained and compassionate women. We are located at 740 Highway 49 in the Cotton Exchange Plaza. Call us today at 601-879-3222. At Flora Animal Hospital, we treat your pets like our own.
You know what's a nightmare? We've all seen that movie where the bad guy's coming and your gun jams up. Luckily, that's just a movie, but you can't take the chance it could happen to you in real life. Hey, y'all, I'm Therese Apel from Dark Horse Press, and I've written stories about a whole lot of situations where people needed their gun to work for them. So if yours is moody or likes to jam, you need to take it to Guns and Gear. Let their professional gunsmiths look at it and fix it so it'll work when you need it. They're the absolute best at what they do, and that's why I buy all my guns from them. That's Guns and Gear in Gluckstadt. Check them out today.
Craving something extraordinary in Jackson? Manship Restaurant is where your taste buds hit the jackpot. Join us for happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. where your wallet will thank you and your stomach will sing. Indulge in half-price wood-fired pizzas because why pay full price for half the fun? And for just $5, dive into our private barrel bourbon picks. That's right, luxury on a budget. Plus, beat the heat with our frozen drink specials, a tropical escape without the travel expenses. Make your way to the Manship where happy hour isn't just a time, it's an experience.
Come together right now over me.
And we're back on Crossing the Aisle for our last short segment. Lindsay, you got any announcements or anything? Or
No, I mean, to tell everybody to if you haven't been tuning in the evening times, we are doing a live. I think we said it earlier, but we're doing a live uncensored, which can be dangerous sometimes.
Yeah, it can be.
Show in the evening starting around 8:00, and we will be there tonight. So we'll be talking about all the topics from the day, and it's been a lot of fun. We've gotten a lot of good feedback so far.
Yeah, we're not running out of things to talk about, whether we're on air or we're doing another show at night, because there's just been a lot of news lately.
There has.
Seems like it's constant. It never stops. There's I really like, just when you think you have a slow news day, then you're like, wake up and like, oh, Grok's a Nazi. That's neat.
And telling people how to rape other people.
Telling how to rape and start a rape plan. And the attorney general's about to get fired. The public's been lied to over the Epstein. You just never, I'm just wondering what next week's going to be. Like, it's always something.
I don't know. There very well could be something pop up that will completely take our minds off of this, and that might be by design.
Yeah, and everybody, I mean, I know we live in this 24-hour news cycle, and I know you and Clay were saying that last night, and I agree with that to a certain extent. I just feel like, as much as I'm following this Epstein thing, this is one of the bigger stories that, let me put it this way. I heard somebody put it this way this morning. This brought a lot of people into politics that were never into politics before, the Epstein story itself, right? That some people that just were never politically involved, never interested in politics. The Epstein thing just kind of captured them, I guess, because had to do with young children and, or youth, all that stuff. And that this is something different to them. So, yeah,
it's definitely interesting, and it's got people paying attention.
Yeah, it does. And so I think I don't know if it's going away. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know if this is going away. I don't think
so. I don't think the people that care about this are going to let it go.
That's kind of my impression. So we'll see. But we'll see y'all tonight at 8 if you decide to tune in, and we'll see you tomorrow at 12 noon. See you later.